Vikram and Sudha, welcome to India today. This is truly exciting to get to speak to makers. I often speak to actors, but it's always interesting to sort of deep dive into the minds of the makers, a producer and a director who has a lot to do with making of a film, right? Sudha, I want to speak with you. I've watched the original film and I want to sort of pick your brain on how does one break the ice with an Akshay Kumar? Because Akshay Kumar's method of working on a set, his energy, his style, his chemistry is very different, right? And we've all watched him. You watched him grow up, see his films. Tell me, first day on set, how does one break the ice with Akshay? For anybody who's watching this, wants to direct it, what's the trick?
No, we did a lot of readings first. Actually, that's his process, I think, with all, So he was shooting for Selfie in Diu. No, in Bhopal.
No, first in Ram
Setu in Diu, and then Bhopal, he was shooting this. We did 2 readings with him. The first reading, and then certain changes, and then the second reading. And after the second reading, actually we were supposed to shoot it October of 22, but he pulled the film. He said, I love it, this is what I want to do. In April we shot. So I think some of the ice was broken in the sense like he understood me, I understood him, and we knew where each other was coming from, and both of us were like quite individualistic in our approach to the script and everything. But he kind of understood. And when he says something, I would understand too. Several things I kind of, yeah, okay, this is fine for me. But there are certain things that I'm very particular about, I don't give in. And when I don't give in, Vikram steps in and he'll say, no Paji, whatever. You have to, this has to happen. It works so brilliantly. I mean, this is such a, this thing in the original and everything. So then he kind of, understands and gets it that way. On set, it was a totally different thing because, see, the beauty of it is both of us like to work very early in the morning,
right,
and close very early in the evening. So shooting at 7 o'clock, sharp 7, absolutely no hitches. It was wonderful. All of that is wonderful. His break time, he doesn't even take a break. He doesn't even go off sets. Like his vanity is somewhere. I've never seen him go to his vanity in those 8 hours that he gives us, Absolutely, he's there. He's sitting under the planes, he's sitting on the steps, he's sitting in the village in the mud. He's like that. But having said that, I think his process was a little different from mine. I was stuck to the original in a way, in a sense, the way we had played it. But this person was very different in the sense like he's not that person.
Right.
He's not quiet. He's not quiet. First of all, he's not quiet. He needs to be happy. He needs to be jumping around and all of that. So he brought that into the character. In the beginning, maybe I didn't understand him for about 6 days or how many ever days we had our frictions. But he's not the kind to, get angry and shout or anything like that. He'll look through you. So, yeah, I didn't care because I was getting what I wanted anyways. And when he's upset and when he's like a little low, he gives you the best, actually.
Oh, you're giving a
yeah. No, the Udupi scene, I still remember. There was, his film had released the previous day and it hadn't done well and he was very attached to the film. And he comes for the shoot and it's very somber and it's the Udupi scene. That's my favorite scene in the whole film. I think it's my most favorite scene of how he's performed it. A lot of him and he was quiet, intense, so perfect. And he was asking for retakes and everything. And I said, no, this is okay. He said, no, for my sake, one more, which has never happened before. And he was so focused. And that day of grief for him translated into that scene and it was beautiful. I think it's the best scene. So he's like that. He's very sensitive. He covers that up with a lot of goofing around and all that. But I've seen him when he was doing the scene with the mother, after the father passes away and everything. He's quiet. He's just doing his stuff and he's quiet. You never see him like that.
No, and there are many such scenes in the film. And there is a side of Akshay Kumar that we have never seen before, I felt, as a watcher, as a viewer. I mean, he's done these quiet, sensitive scenes where he has to express grief or loss or inner strife. But in this, I felt he reached in a different place that he's not.
Yeah, yeah.
And perhaps that shows on screen.
He's told me, I still remember that particular scene where Prakash Babu just leaves, right? And he's paying very sadly. And then Prakash Babu says, I'm yeah, you come and convince us after 4 months. And then he's full of energy. He takes that guy's food also, which he's left
Yes,
over. You know,
that dosa
he takes it and he starts eating it. You know, and he looks left and right, and he doesn't know who to share his joy with. That was something that I told him. I said, you don't know who to share it with, but you're so in your own world, so happy. That he got, and he did that dosa bit himself, which was so beautiful. You know, and even on the plane, when it was so good, he suddenly starts talking to the air hostess, like how a common man would say, "Arey bhai, get me nariyal pani."
Yes.
You know, that was his. So there are certain things of him that come naturally to him, like from his life, I think. And he was eating the cake that his wife gives him. Like he's gone to Delhi for a meeting, he's probably packed food from home, and he's eating that cake, and suddenly it falls. And it's just a little montage, but it falls. He says, he picks that up and then blows on it and he starts eating it, you know. He says a middle class person. From where I come from, we don't waste food.
Right. Yeah,
we don't
a lot of
waste
small
food.
such.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's from his
The
life.
Aspect that this is my 7th film with him. The aspect that Sarfira and Sudha have brought out in him is vulnerability. You know, we've seen sensitive performances, we've seen hard-hitting performances, but the vulnerable side to him, the side where he's dug deep and probably brought his own past out to perform, like Sudha is saying, you know, it's a natural reaction in your growing up. If the value system is right, that you will not waste food, and even if it falls, you just pick it up and, you know, it just comes naturally.
Right.
To your earlier question, no matter what Sudha and Akshay say, I'll say this to you out of my own experience working with both of them on this. On the surface, they're as apart as chalk and cheese. They're the same person. They're the same value system. They have the same core. They're both extremely committed to their work. Expressions of that are different. Their commitment to hard work, their commitment to understanding the other person's point of view, their belief in another person's conviction, and not being stubborn if they feel that there's something that could get them to improve. I think that's the process that has been there right from the start. I mean, Sudha mentioned 2 readings, but they were a 6-7 day session of readings in Diu. Then there was another 6-7 days in Bhopal where, you know, at 4:30 in the morning, we'd all early risers be up and present.
No. You were not, Vikram.
5:30.
No. You know, he was here and I was staying in a cottage next to his, and we had watched the IPL. And then the next day we were supposed to have a reading at about 4 o'clock because his call time was 9.
Right.
So he says, okay, let's not waste time, let's do it at this hour. And then he told them like, okay, I'm tired because they were watching till 2:30. And then these guys went off to sleep. So he knew the only one who will be awake at that hour is me. So he comes tapping, we'll do reading, let's go. So he says, you'll bring the others. So that is a tough task. So I'm going knocking on Vikram, wake up.
Because there's early, which is 5:36, and then there's 4 a.m.
Correct. It's
Which was
extremely-
their
Yeah, but both of us are like bouncing off walls and jumping off walls at 4 a.m. So that's the best time to work. And at 7, see, the thing with him is he is so quick, he's so fast.
Yes.
I like that. I mean, why am I going to keep him working for 12 hours and 16 hours if he's able to deliver it in 3 hours? He
Right.
does that. And he is super focused and super sharp with his dialogues, with his everything, and the mood. He never goes far from the mood of the scene or the
that is
tenor of
very
the
true.
character.
And for
He-
a film like this, you need
Yep,
that so much,
yep,
right?
Yep. And we
Because-
shot over several locations, different, like the beginning of the scene somewhere else and the end of the scene somewhere else. It was like long
that
sequences.
consistency is there.
It's there.
Right.
You just
I have to
tell
speak
him.
about Suriya. I mean, in the end, when I left the theatre, there was a big smile on my face because you get to see him right when the end credits
Yeah.
roll, and then to have him, and then to get memories of the
Yeah.
original film. Talk to me a bit about him because he's he's a legend in his own space, right? A superstar in his own space. He brings that energy, massive energy when you see him on screen. Did he and Akshay get to meet, sit, talk, interact, and spend time?
Yeah, all of that happened. And actually, the funniest incident was, I still remember, we were shooting the climax when, the mother comes down from the flight and everything, and we're shooting it in the Chennai airport because we had only permissions there. So when we were shooting that, and I was like, he was doing certain things in the scene, and he was like trying to be very not obvious. But I'm wearing the earphones that day because the Hindi person hadn't come, so he didn't know that. So, and he's telling Seema Biswas, no, you're supposed to do that, you're supposed to do this. And I'm laughing, I'm rolling in the chair and I'm laughing. And Surya comes, he's saying, are you shooting the same film? This is the climax, no? Why are you laughing like this? So I said, just listen to him, he's so funny. And he's serious faced, and he's like, she had to take out money and bless the little baby. She took out the money and gave it to Akshay sir. He said, no, to the baby, to the baby. He was trying to save the take.
Right.
Because he doesn't want to go for another one. That much I know. But yeah, he's like that. And Surya is like, I would say that he is, Surya seems like he's just sitting there quiet. No, I've seen him, his process is like, I shouldn't be sharing it with them. I've seen him standing near a wall and saying his dialogues. He's prepping continuously. And he gets better and better with takes. He feels that. I don't feel that so much, but he feels that. He'll ask for one more. I still remember my equation with Surya. I was the AD and he was doing Aidher the Yuva in Tamil. And his first shot with Mani sir was he had to open a door. There's a knock on the door. He had to open it. The guy did 26 takes. Mani sir is like, I'm okay with it. I'm okay. So, for this character, I'll do something little more. And 26 takes or something. He's that. It's a joy to work with him. He's never going to tell you like, this is enough. In fact, I have to tell him, no, Surya, you cracked it, leave it. Even in dubbing, we'll try. He doesn't give up. I just love that quality about him.
That's a testament of an actor.
But then this guy has a different process and it's equally fantastic. You know what he does? He'll come after the first take, he'll say, oh, such a good take, Kumar, such a good take and all of that. I say, yeah, it's a very good take, one more. So he'll say, hooray, and all that. But he'll do better on the second take. He's never going to tell a director, at least to me, he's never said, I'm not going to do this. So it's a pleasure working with him.
He just gives in to the process of the director and like I said, feeds so much of the conviction.
That's true.
But Vikram, we're talking about Sarfira right now, but you're somebody who's also looking at the business side of cinema and you have such a strong acumen on that. I recently spoke to Sanjay Leela Bhansali and a couple of filmmakers are now talking about certain cost corrections that the industry needs to do in smaller ways to look at the bigger picture. What would you suggest is a course correction that needs to set in right away? Not in just terms of the business model, but in terms of this conversation of films doing well at the cinemas, getting people back to theatres. When you have an Akshay Kumar on the poster, who's a mainstream pan-India, let's not just say pan-India, but he's a superstar in his own right, you will want people to come and watch his films. Perhaps films are not working in the last few months and years. We've seen that a lot of people have given their own theories on what has gone wrong, what has gone right. The industry likes to jump on trends and say, oh, a remake is working, let's do South remakes. Or action is working, let's jump on that. How have you sort of managed to stay strong and maneuver through these tricky times?
So, I'm going to break what you've just said in 3 parts and address them individually. Your first part about cost correction or reductions, the part that I don't understand about this narrative that's going around in our industry right now is that when is it not a good time to produce something or make something in the best cost possible? So I often ask this question. So are you telling me if there wasn't COVID and if there wasn't this challenge on the industry, we would keep splurging and be extravagant with our costs? That's never good business sense. The fundamental objective of business is to minimize cost, maximize revenue. So it's always been a good time to make costs and lower than ever before and make films in the lowest budgets possible. I don't buy this philosophy that it's just dawned upon us that, oh, we should rationalize an above the line spend in terms of an actor fee or a below the line spend in terms of how efficiently we can produce a film. I think good business sense in the right places has always prevailed, and I am a big proponent of the theory that no matter what the outreach of the film, no matter who's headlining it, no matter what the expected business is, there should always be an effort to optimize the budget. The second part about an actor's films working basis a trend or not. There are actors, stars, superstars in our industry, Akshay being one of them. They've built fan franchises over 30 years. The love that exists for these individuals, not just within the country but across the world, is so huge that their fans just want to come back again and again and watch them work. There are days that you have very good outings, and there are days that, for reasons under your control or beyond your control, things don't go the way that they're supposed to. If I draw an analogy from the world of sport, a Michael Jordan never had a winning game every game. Closer to home, we just saw a champion performance in a final match by Virat Kohli in a tournament that he had not delivered in. Did that make him any less a player? When the occasion came, the man literally and figuratively hit it out of the park. So I think we need to stop looking at these much loved actors from a lens of what their last one or two films are. They've withstood the test of time. Even for the younger lot, I think there's so much more that goes into making a film work, and there's so much responsible for not making a film live up to its expectations. It's just the guy in front of the camera or headlining it.
Right.
That realization needs to dawn very, very strongly on us right now. We are sitting and talking about Sarfira because there is a captain of the ship who believed in the development process. She was coming off a big success, still put in all the hard work and the hours required to perfect the adaptation. Still did the process of being hands-on every single aspect. She could have just given a set of looks and said, go ahead and prep it like this. But the work that Sudha's put in on every front, the work that Akshay has put in on the smallest of things, outside of his inputs on the script, the way he looked, the way he's performed, all of that. So much goes into a film more than just an actor. We need to look beyond, which leads me to your last part about trends. There's just one trend in my opinion. You make a high quality product that connects with the people, they will come in and watch, irrespective. Films that draw people to theatres, we had this narrative after COVID of, people are only going to step out for big ticket spectacles. How's that holding out? Globally for that matter.
Yeah.
Globally for that matter. Did a Barbie have a spectacle better than some of the MCU movies that we business? It's about giving the right value for time and money, and people will come to the theatres and watch. What's changed? People are seeing honesty. They're seeing that in the makers. They're seeing that in the trailer. If they are promised that, they will come to the theatres in big numbers. If they feel this is not worth their time, actually more than their money, there's so much available in terms of options to spend that time on. So I am neither a believer in this doomsday prophecy of he's working, he's not working, and this genre is going to deliver and this is not. Nor am I a believer of saying that theatres are out, because we see shining examples every now and then of people coming up in millions to support work which is non-conventional. So for us, that's been the North Star to keep us on track with the kind of work that we've been doing across the last 10 years.
That's a great analogy, and that's a lot of that's a really great conversation to have, and so many things to pick from. So I quickly want to pick your brain and ask you about the fact that every director, producer has a wish list, right? Or you have certain people in your mind that you always want to work with. It could be you've seen their work and you've wanted to work, or in general. Are there any names on your wish list? You worked with Akshay, and I'm guessing now that the film is done with, it's out for everyone to get. Will we see you collaborate perhaps with more actors?
I would love to. There's always a wish list.
What are some of the names on that wish list of yours that you've tucked somewhere and kept?
Dulquer, Mohanlal, Mammootty, Amitabh Bachchan.
Wow.
Mostly, actually.
Did you watch Kalki?
I did not watch Kalki because I've been busy trying to get the film
Yes,
out.
correct.
But I worked with AB, with Abhishek on Yuva, and he knows what a big fan of his I am. And he got me a book autographed by his dad, you know. And when he had come on sets in Calcutta to visit us, he just took me, the last most assistant director, and he said, Papa, she's your fan. So it's like I'm crazily in love with his craft, him. So many. I would love to work with Ranbir, Shah Rukh, Salman.
Yeah, I think it's not stopping. Your list needs to end somewhere.
Yeah.
Clearly.
No. I can keep wishing. It may happen, it may not happen. But yeah, so I want to work with all of them.
But this is for both of you coming back to Sarfira. You know.
Actually, sorry.
Yes.
I must say, I don't know why, even being a female, I do this. But my wish list, one of the topmost is Taboo.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a collab I think is waiting to happen. Maybe you should get it.
Yeah, Shefali, Taboo. I love Samantha. I love Deepika, Alia. So I think in my wish list, actually, because you know, I've just been boxed into doing films where I have to work with the male protagonist being the center of it. I think I need to get out. I can afford to now get out of it. And then I would love to work with all these ladies because I find them just so brilliant. Like Urushi ma'am was top of my list.
Yes.
And she did it. And Seema Biswas, yes.
Oh, she's so good in the film.
Yeah, so I've got a few of them off my wish list. In fact, Seema Biswas ma'am didn't want to do it, in the beginning. And then she met me and then she talked to me and she said, okay, I'm doing it. So that's the way. Paresh Rawal was on my wish list for the longest of time. It happened. So
all these actors, the names that you're dropping right now are so in their space, such powerhouse talents. And I'm saying they're so good in Sarfira. And I also sort of realized that the female characters in the film have so much to do, no?
Yeah.
Like Radhika's character also so independent. She's making her own decisions. She's not just towing the line, not following the lead or the husband. She has her own things to... Same thing for Seema Biswas, that those scenes... I want to ask you both, and you sort of have done this, writing roles for, you kept getting asked women-centric films, and if there's nobody more than Abundancia, I think that sort of promotes and pushes that space. And for you now to bring this up, do you feel that we need to sort of push it more? And it's happening globally now. I mean, Devil Wears Prada, there's a sequel that's coming. Barbie proved that you could do like $1 zillion at the box office. You could have women at the poster of films and have audience come in. Yeah. You have male superstars not going anywhere.
100%. Look at Abundancia's filmography. Look at the work that I've been fortunate to be associated with. We've always championed stories that have strong female characters, strong statements to make. We've championed the cause of directors who've had a phenomenal and a unique gaze on such characters in such roles. And it comes from a fundamental belief that A, great and impactful stories are typically gender agnostic, and B, it's 50% of the population. I mean, look at the names Sudha's just taken. These are performers that we have on our wish list as well.
Yeah, and I must say the only time I've ever actually cried and sobbed was I had broken my ankle and it was healing, and I got an opportunity to do a series of ads with Madhuri Dixit, and I couldn't do it. I was so upset. I said I would do this for free because I'm such a big fan of hers.
Well, watch this space for more.
Okay then, I think that's, on that note, dream so big they call you crazy. I think that exactly sort of sums up what Sarfira is all about. I'm guessing dreams, filmmakers, for the common man, for all of us, I absolutely loved Sarfira. I think I had a great time. And like I said, I've seen Akshay and I told him, I said, I've seen you in a very different avatar, in a never before seen role. So congratulations on Sarfira. Hoping for you both to collaborate with each other and others and get us some more films in the next few.
Yeah, we hope so too.
Thank you very much.
We're in the process.
Okay.